How could the United States, a military superpower, win virtually every major battle in the Vietnam War and still lose? The answer, according to Simon Sinek, is that they were playing the wrong game. While the U.S. was playing a finite game, trying to win by achieving a certain body count, the North Vietnamese were playing an infinite game, fighting for the single cause of freedom and survival. They weren't trying to win, they were just trying to outlast their opponent. In his book, The Infinite Game, Sinek argues that too many leaders treat business like a finite game, like a football match with clear rules, a set time, and a final winner. But business, politics, and careers aren't like that. They're infinite games. The players change, the rules are flexible, and there's no finish line. The goal isn't to win, but to keep playing, to perpetuate the game. To adopt this mindset, Sinek outlines 5 essential practices. We're going to focus on 3 of the most powerful ideas: advancing a just cause, finding a worthy rival, and practicing existential flexibility. First, infinite-minded leaders are driven by a just cause. This isn't your typical mission statement about maximizing shareholder value. A just cause is a vision of a future state that is so appealing you'd be willing to make sacrifices to see it realized. Think of the U.S. Declaration of Independence and its vision of a world where all men are created equal. It's an ideal we will never perfectly achieve, but it's a cause we can constantly strive toward. In business, a just cause gives work meaning. It's what inspires people to show up day after day, not just for a paycheck, but because they believe they're part of building something bigger than themselves. Second, and this might sound strange, you need a worthy rival. A finite-minded leader wants to beat their competition. An infinite-minded leader, on the other hand, is grateful for their rivals because they reveal weaknesses and push them to be better. Think about the early rivalry between Apple and Microsoft. While Microsoft's leadership was often obsessed with destroying Apple, Apple's team was focused on their own just cause, empowering individuals with technology. They used rivals as a benchmark that forced them to constantly innovate and improve their own products. A worthy rival isn't an enemy to be vanquished. They are another player who makes you stronger for the long game. Third, and this might sound strange, you need a worthy rival. A finite-minded leader wants to beat their competition. An infinite-minded leader, on the other hand, is grateful for their rivals because they reveal weaknesses and push them to be better. Think about the early rivalry between Apple and Microsoft. While Microsoft's leadership was often obsessed with destroying Apple, Apple's team was focused on their own just cause, empowering individuals with technology. They used rivals as a benchmark that forced them to constantly innovate and improve their own products. A worthy rival isn't an enemy to be vanquished. They are another player who makes you stronger for the long game. Third, infinite-minded players have what Sinek calls existential flexibility. This is the capacity to make a massive, disruptive strategic shift in order to better advance your just cause. It's the courage to detonate your own cash cow. The most famous example is Apple, creating the iPhone, knowing full well it would destroy their most profitable product at the time, the iPod. They did it because the iPhone better advanced their cause of putting powerful technology in people's hands. Netflix did the same when they pivoted from their successful DVD by mail service to streaming. It was a huge, risky bet that almost failed, but it was essential to stay in the infinite game of entertainment. So what's the big takeaway? Stop thinking about business as a game you can win. Instead, focus on building an organization that's resilient enough to last for generations. The key is to shift your mindset from the finite to the infinite. Lead with a just cause that inspires your people. Use your worthy rivals to get better, and have the courage to make bold, flexible moves. The goal is not to be the best, but, as Sinek says, to be better than you were yesterday. If you enjoyed this framework, you might also check out Sinek's earlier book, Start With Why, or Jim Collins's classic on building enduring companies, Good to Great. Find more great summaries and reading guides at booksplat.com. Level up yourself today, 3 minutes at a time.